Today we're not doing anything complicated. No, we are simply looking at the properties of limits. Now, why are we going to do this? Why are we going to do something that's not complicated? Well, because these are important to know and they're going to make your life a lot easier. A lot of times I've seen teachers like to throw these properties of limits on quizzes when calc first begins because, I don't know, apparently making a kid feel stupid and destroying their self-confidence is like a valid teaching method. Who am I to say? But we're going to review these properties so that way you don't mess up on your quizzes. So the first thing we're going to look at is, what if we had a case where we wanted to find the limit, let's write this, the limit as x approaches some number n, it doesn't really matter, of f of x plus, let's not write f of x plus g of x. What is this going to be, right? Now this might trip you up when you see this for the first time on a quiz, but this is super easy, right? Because this we can change to the limit as x approaches n of f of x plus the limit as x approaches n, I forgot to write n over here, as g of x. So you can split this limit up into two different limits and add them together. And that's what makes this super easy. It's a dumb way to lose points on a quiz, but oftentimes people don't know them. So hopefully now we'll know them. And the same is true when we do subtraction, right? So if we have the limit as x approaches n of f of x minus g of x, this is going to be equal to the limit. Remember, we can just split these limits and then subtract them, right? So pretty simple stuff. Minus the limit as x approaches n of g of x, right? Now here's another one. Let's choose a different color for this so we're not all monochromatic with our white. So what if we have the limit, oh gosh, you know what that says. You know what that says, limit. The limit as x approaches n of, let's say, some constant k, right? So like, let's say the constant is 3 or 1/3, you know, anything, times f of x. Well, what we can actually do is pull the constant out in front of our limit and then take the limit of our function. So we can write this as k times the limit as x approaches n of f of x. Only a couple more we're going to look at now. Let's go to purple. We're going to look at the limit as x approaches n of, let's say, that's an n, of, let's say, a product. What if we have f of x times g of x, right? This will surely trip you up on your quiz. No, it won't, because you should know by this point that what we're going to do is split this limit up into two. So the limit as x approaches n of f of x times the limit as x approaches n of g of x. And we are going to look at just one last property, so the final one, the limit, and can you guess what it's going to be if we did addition, subtraction, and multiplication? The limit as x approaches n, that's an n, of f of x divided by g of x, right? But again, this is super simple. We know this by now, because we know exactly what we're going to do is split this limit up into two, so x approaches n of f of x all over, oh, I didn't write my n, there we go, the limit as x approaches n of g of x. And remember, this is a fraction we're dividing, so long as the limit as x approaches n of our denominator g of x is not equal to 0, we can do this. We can divide. If we got 0, it'd be a little bit more complicated, but yes, these are all the properties of the limits that we're going to look at today. Super simple stuff. Again, for the first time, if you're seeing it on the quiz, it might trip you up, but hopefully now you'll feel a little bit more confident and understand these properties. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned something.